welcome to 13 News at noon, everyone.
Sure.
Today's Wednesday. I'm getting back into the flow of things.
Of course.
I'm Karen Campbell here with Sean Ash. And Sean, you were mentioning that even though we have sunny skies, there are rolls of thunder.
Oh, yeah,
on the
yeah.
way.
We heard them here. We saw a little shelf cloud earlier this morning from Tipton with some of those showers. And we talked about there might be a few storms. And yeah, we had one roll right through Marion County. I do want to stress that what we have on radar today will not be severe. Definitely will be inconvenient. Fair game from now until about 7 or 8 o'clock. The focal area will eventually shift south of I-70 here in the coming hours. But areas of rain, some downpours, some thunder. That means you should be monitoring radar. Be prepared to move those outdoor events indoors. And a good idea if you're going to be doing some walking to definitely have your umbrella with you here as we go through the afternoon and evening. All right, let's show you live Doppler 13 radar. And that's the cell that moved right through the heart of Marion County. These are quick movers, by the way, east at about 45. Some of the stronger cells today may briefly have some small hail with them. The one that went through Muncie and now what's left of it over there in Winchester. And as we look back to the west here, we're seeing some better sunshine over the southern part of the state. 62 in Bloomington. We're still 52, even with this cloud cover and rain that we've had. Close call whether or not we hit 60 in Indy. It's likely going to be a little bit cooler to the north in Lafayette. And dew points, yeah, they're in the 40s. Nothing crazy, but enough lift to fuel what we're seeing here on radar today. For the remainder of today, Indy points south, balmy, breezy, scattered rain and thunder that probably becomes a little more numerous as the front approaches us here by 4 or 5 o'clock. And we'll watch this area this evening maybe for some additional thunderstorms and hailers. We have quite the temperature ride, Karen, coming up in the next 7 days. It includes wind chills in the teens. Timeline ahead in a few minutes.
All right, short-lived sunshine. Thanks, Sean. Well, right now, 13 News is working to learn the name of the man who was shot and killed by Metro Police on the city's east side. Now, we told you about the shooting yesterday at noon. Police tell us while they were responding to an incident near East Washington Street and State Avenue, officers say they saw a man nearby who they believed had active warrants for his arrest, and they tried to talk with him. Now, police say the man ignored police commands, keeping his hands in his pockets and then running away. Officers chased after him, and an officer allegedly tased the man before firing a shot and hitting him. Now, police say the man died at the hospital. 13 News is still working to learn what type of warrants the man had out for his arrest and when body camera footage will be released. Well, Metro Police are also working to piece together the moments leading up to a fatal shooting on the city's Near East Side. Police tell us they found Cruz Hodge shot lying in the middle of the road on South Oakland Avenue near Southeastern Avenue. EMS rushed him to a hospital, but doctors weren't able to save him. This afternoon, we are working to learn if IMPD has identified any suspects in this case. And right now, an 18-year-old man is in court facing murder charges for a shooting dating back to last year. Now, this shooting happened in November of 2024 near 16th and Arlington. Prosecutors say Stanley Proctor Jr. shot and killed 26-year-old Frederick Martin III in a parking lot. Once we learn the latest from the courtroom, we will make sure to report that to you on air and online at WTHR.com. A South Carolina man is starting his 33-month sentence after stripping naked and assaulting a TSA officer at Indianapolis International Airport. Now, this happened in July of 2023. You see him there circled in red. Court documents say George Stevens needed additional screening at a security checkpoint. Investigators say Stephen cooperated at first, but then started calling the officer names, growing more agitated. Eventually, they say he took off all of his clothes and was later arrested. All right, we want to turn now to concerns from a law enforcement community on the South Side. This comes after a bill that could put limitations on the authority of reserve police officers. Logan Gay was at a meeting with the Southport police chief who says this bill could be detrimental to police departments like theirs.
The Southport Police Department is using this town hall to put the community on notice about House Bill 1186. Now that this bill has made it to the Senate, some members of the law enforcement community feel like the clock is ticking for them to educate the community on the ramifications of this bill.
Our communities need to understand that their safety is going to be directly affected.
The bill mostly focuses on reserve officers, restricting their authority to just their own cities and towns, which could have a negative impact for departments like Southport, where the majority of the force are reserve officers.
This bill needs to be amended. There is no reason that the legislature should get involved in situations and tell every little city and town and municipality what they should do with their reserves. Let that city and town decide that.
The bill could also make it harder for smaller departments to fill the ranks, and many reserve officers would no longer be able to work security off duty to earn money.
Everybody needs a little extra money, and if they put in the free time, they've paid for their own uniforms, and they've done all that kind of stuff, why shouldn't they be able to do it?
There is a need for off-duty employment. Like we just said, just to work Lucas Oil at a Colts game, you have to have 70 inside, 50 outside.
The Albany Police Department also has a lot of reserve officers. The police chief there says he worries about some of the vague language in the bill.
We have reserve officers that travel a pretty good distance to get here to work. And if they are in uniform and they see something happening, can they act if they're outside this jurisdiction? And the bill does talk about exigent circumstances. The problem there is it leaves a lot to interpretation.
One community member says she's not only concerned how this proposed bill could impact safety in Southport, but also in Marion County, where many reserve officers often help IMPD.
There are a lot of places where officers are that citizens just don't even think about that. And if we're cutting out that ability for them to be there, that's going to impact everyone.
Ultimately, they hope they get the attention of the right people as the bill moves forward.
As citizens, as law enforcement officers, as retirees, we have to unite behind this, and we have to make our voices heard.
And that was our Logan Gay reporting. At the end of the meeting, they encouraged the community to reach out to representatives and give their input and even sign up to testify the next time the bill is up for public comment. Now, 13 News did reach out to the sponsor of the bill about these concerns, but we have not yet heard back. When we do, we will let you know. Well, there is a new interim marshal leading law enforcement in Knightstown. Last week, we told you about the police chief and 2 council members resigning after frustrations with the town clerk. Take a listen.
You guys don't actually care about the community.
Last night, frustrations boiled over at a special town council meeting. The council quickly appointed Landon Dean to lead the department, but community members still have questions about the unknown issues driving a wedge between multiple town leaders.
This can't be a cycle that continues to happen every 3 to 5 years because some Lord knows what, because you're not going to tell us what it is, between the town council and the police department.
The council is now looking for someone to fill the role permanently. This afternoon, the Board of Elections is meeting to discuss an incident from last year's presidential election. You may remember this. 13 News received video of the incident during the last meeting in January. It shows a voter wearing a Make America Great Again hat and shirt displaying now President Donald Trump. A worker allegedly told the voter he could not wear political attire near the polling location. So the man is seen placing the hat on the worker before removing his shirt and revealing what appears to be 2 guns. Now, this incident comes after a law passed last year making it a felony to threaten, obstruct, interfere, or injure an election worker. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office will have the final say on any charges. The board is set to discuss the incident during a public meeting today at 1 o'clock. Well, there is a bigger push to bring Major League Soccer to Indianapolis. Now, we first reported here on 13 News that MLS Commissioner Don Garber joined Mayor Joe Hogsett at the Pacers game on Monday night. Now, we are learning Garber also met with Governor Mike Braun. Governor Braun says it's still early in the process and there are a few things that need to happen before a formal bid. First, the state has to sign off on financing a stadium. That likely won't happen until after the legislative session. Secondly, there needs to be an investor group in place. Mayor Hogsett says that's a work in progress, but both the mayor and the governor want to make this happen.
I want to make sure that cash flows. That's going to be easy for us to look at. I just view it as an opportunity that may not be around if we aren't actively involved.
Based on my conversations with the commissioner, he still is optimistic about Indianapolis's chances. He continues to say we're doing the right things.
And Mayor Hogsett there says he and the governor haven't talked about the issue, but plan to discuss it in the future.